this week, we are talking wrestling. We went to AEW. We've got a great show for you this week on Bourbon.
I don't give a damn about your show. This week, we're talking wrestling or sports entertainment on Bourbon Player One. Starts now.
Oh, what a stick! Oh my.
Welcome, guys, to Bourbon Player One. Chair shots aside, we are super happy to have you here. I have the man, the myth, the legend, Scott, with me this week. And like I said, we are talking about some AEW wrestling. Scott, thanks for being on the show this week.
It's all your pleasure.
right in the middle of the set. Yep. Welcome to the show, guys. As always, we are super happy to have you this week. Mentioned a second ago, but we were talking about AEW. We have got AEW Dynamite. We went to the show. We've got AEW Rampage. We have some smart remarks this week, which is going to be awesome. And again, we're just going to spice in a little bit of bourbon too. That being said, if you haven't yet, hit that button right there. It's going to pop up over Scott. Click the subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up. New videos absolutely every single week. Every Monday, we have new stuff for you. Your challenge this week in the comments below, who is your favorite wrestler? Could be from the past when you were a kid growing up. Could be right now, currently, if you watch. Do not care. Leave a comment below who your favorite wrestler is. We want to hear about it. That being said, let's not waste any more time. We're going to get right to the show. All right, guys, as always, we're going to start, and we're going to talk a little bit about the bourbon we are drinking this week, or what we got this week. So, Scott, why don't you tell us a little bit about what we got this week?
Wow. Funny you say that.
Crazy. It's almost like we talked about it.
So, out of the blue, I'm sitting there working, and I get this message from a friend that says, hey, such and such store down on such and such street just dropped what's called a Weller Full Proof. So, it is a blue label,
wow,
full proof from the Buffalo Trace Company. They run, what are they, about 114 proof. And this is a single barrel select from a store called Centerpoint Liquors here in, what is that, Goodlettsville? Is that Rivergate? It's somewhere Hendersonville-ish area. Mm-hmm. So Nashville metro area. So we got the heads up that they had this. Little did we know when we showed up that they were actually going to have this and an E.H. Taylor single barrel private store pick. Mm-hmm. So they got to pick their own barrel of that, which what I've been told is only 5 stores in the entire state of Tennessee actually have an opportunity to get one of those E.H. Taylor single barrel store picks. Passed, grabbed this as well. I just think that this has a much, there's a lot more variance in flavor, complexity in this than there is with the E.H. single barrel.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy to think that you said that. I mean, 5... Like, we're in Tennessee, obviously, you know. There are 5 stores in Tennessee that get to do that. Mm-hmm. Like, Tennessee, you think bourbon, you think whiskey. Mm-hmm. You know, not like Kentucky, but still, like, you know, we're in the capital of it. You know, this is the home of that stuff. And only 5 stores get to do it. I mean, just seems like you'd have a higher number. So, the fact that this store gets to do a lot of those picks and have these very special items is pretty remarkable.
And we're only 15 minutes away.
Yeah, it's also cool. We're super close to it.
Yeah. And we didn't have to pay outrageous markup prices for it.
We
got it for retail.
$90? Somewhere in there? Yeah.
Whatever you think is fair.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you what you think you should pay for it, but retail is roughly $79, $89. Mm-hmm. I think that's a value every single time.
Every time.
What you think is a value is up to you.
Absolutely.
So don't let our price dictate what you feel like you should pay for it.
So if you want to pay $200 for it, you go for it. If that's worth it to you to not have to hunt for it, we support it.
Yeah.
That being said, this week we are talking all about AEW wrestling, so we're gonna get right into it. We were lucky enough to go to the AEW Dynamite show.
In Nashville, Tennessee, downtown Nashville, Broadway.
Yep.
At the Bridgestone Arena.
The Predators Bridgestone Arena. And we had a great time. So we thought, great to talk about this week, about the show. We got definitely catered to at the show through our ticket selection. So I'm not going to throw any names out there, but thank you to the people who helped make that possible. Thank you to everyone who helped us be able to go and enjoy ourselves there.
Sure.
All that being said, we're going to get right into the match card. We don't want to spend a lot of time, but we want to talk about some of the matches, what we thought, how AEW's going, and then, leave it from there for y'all's interpretation. If you watched the show live, great. TBS on Wednesday nights.
Yep.
And then we're also going to talk about Rampage, which they record. They recorded on Wednesday nights after Dynamite. That's on TBS on Fridays, but
it's on TNT on Fridays.
TNT on Fridays.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. TBS Wednesday, TNT Friday. But they recorded that, and we got to watch some of those matches as well. So we'll talk about those as well for those that watched it on Friday.
Yeah, and if you watched it, definitely leave some comments. Let us know what you thought about the show. We're definitely going to let you know what we thought of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, don't let our comments and our opinions sway your opinions on what you thought of the show.
Or do, actually.
Or do,
just let it sway how you watch the show. It's fine. We are going right in. First match of the night. Well, I guess, should we talk about Tony Khan coming out? Because he came out at the start of the show, didn't he? Or was that even recorded?
No, that was prior to the show. So Tony Khan came out. So this was a last minute. So this episode of AEW Dynamite was titled Fight for the Fallen. Mm-hmm. So once a year, they will do a show called Fight for the Fallen, where they will take, they'll have a sponsor donate a specific amount of money towards the show. And this one specifically was for, was to aid or provide relief for the Maui wildfires down in Lahaina, which, personal note, I was just there last year, was right on site with where all of the wildfires have been taking place, and it's very gut-wrenching knowing that I've been there and the people in the community that's been impacted by it. So kudos to AEW and kudos to the sponsors. I believe it was Warner Brothers who ended up donating funds for this event to help aid Maui. So, but he did come out and said that the funds that were donated would 100% be also donated towards the Maui Food Bank Relief Fund.
Sure. So. And I guess transparency, we should say, we watched this live. There were probably a lot of things that were not on the television broadcast airing of this. We're just going to talk about it as we saw it. So if things don't really line up the way that you saw it on TV, sorry. Mm-hmm. We didn't watch it on TV. We didn't go back and watch it again. We saw the whole thing live, and that was great for some parts and definitely not great for some.
I did go back and watch one thing, but we'll talk about that later. I just wanted to see what it was like on TV versus in person. I'm
very excited to hear about that because I have a feeling I know what you're talking about. Okay. Anyway, first thing of the night, first match. We had an AEW International title match to really kick off the show. Orange Cassidy versus Wheeler Yuta. For those that watch AEW faithfully, Wheeler Yuta and his faction have been, we'll just say they've been attacking Orange Cassidy. Didn't he put him through a car not that long ago?
They've been attacking the whole the AEW roster, the Blackpool Combat Club with John Moxley.
I almost said Dean Ambrose. John Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli.
Yep.
Yes, I almost see. Gotta get the names. They've changed so much. It's hard.
It's just not the same without William Regal there. I'll admit it.
That was great.
Yeah, but I don't know if you guys noticed this or saw this up on the Tron behind when Orange Cassidy came out, that it was the AEW Atlantic Championship. He crossed it out and is now the AEW International Champion.
Yes, and the belt says International Championship on it.
It says Atlantic Champion.
Does it? I thought it was International. I thought the championship.
Says Atlantic.
That's great.
Yeah, he's got it crossed out.
Okay, why not?
Do you know where Orange Cassidy is from?
Mm-mm.
He's from wherever.
Do
you know how much he weighs?
Whatever.
Yes.
Whatever. His finishing move is some awesome move here.
With his hands in his pockets.
Absolutely. He doesn't even care. He doesn't want to be there.
Anyway.
That being said, match. I thought it was a great way to kick off the show.
Mm-hmm.
They brought the heat. They brought the thunder. Highlights of the match. From my perspective, and I'll let you talk after this, Scott, about it. I thought that they gave the guys plenty of time. Was one of my big takeaways from it. They let them tell a great story in the ring. They didn't have a lot of outside interference until the very end. They let these two guys go after it, which was awesome because they're both great in-ring performers. It was the outcome I expected. I'm not going to lie, but I'll let you go into some of your highlights, and then we'll talk about the finish.
So very, very few times do you see a title change hands on a televised event.
Sure.
Usually they save those for their premium live events
of course.
Pay-per-views, whatever you want to call it.
But you never know.
Flavor of the month, whatever. But, I felt like Orange Cassidy was in trouble when I saw Blackpool Combat Club hop the railing and they were there and present. But just seeing Orange Cassidy come out ahead and retain his title, that definitely, I like longevity with titles.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like seeing fly-by-night, hey, let's change a championship every single week. Case in point, those that follow WWE, they see the longevity of their Universal Heavyweight Champion Roman Reigns. He's had his title for 3+ years. So that's just something that I find value in being a long-term wrestling fan. Is I don't like seeing titles flipping from week to week.
Hold them for a while.
Yeah.
I will say this though, we're not here to talk about WWE, but definitely I think Seth Rollins has held the title long enough where it's okay if they flip it. I think it's probably time, but that's just my take on it.
Sure.
Whatever works.
Yep.
The end of the match. So we definitely are setting up the match for the pay-per-view coming up. AEW All In is coming up, and they're from London at Wembley Stadium.
Yep.
And we have some matches that they're working on getting set up. It's a couple weeks away, depending on when you're watching this. It was 2 weeks away from when we watched this. But we did have the Lucha Bros come out for the match. Mm-hmm. They got interference at the end. Obviously, Combat Club came out, had Claudio Castagnoli, had John Moxley joined, and were there fighting alongside Wheeler Yuta. Orange Cassidy, who tried to fend them off. And so then we had a lot of interference, a lot of people coming into the match. A lot of outside interference. Who all came in?
So we had Best Friends, Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta came in. Then we had Blackpool Combat Club that kind of started the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And then we saw the long-awaited return of Eddie Kingston, who has been away for quite some time. Made his return that evening. Set up a match for All In, actually, at the end of that. So it was a stadium stampede. Is the Blackpool Combat Club versus Eddie Kingston and I believe Best Friends. Is that correct?
Eddie Kingston.
Yep.
Best Friends. Lucha Bros.
Lucha Bros. Yes.
They're all in. And then the Blackpool has to find more people to help them.
That's right. Yeah, it's 6-on-6.
We do not know who's helping them
we
at
don't
the
know
time of filming. No.
Yeah.
So they'll probably announce that next week.
Yeah. I mean, we've got 2 weeks to build on that.
Mm-hmm. So they'll be coming in.
So, if anybody knows what Stadium Stampede rules are, let us know.
Does AEW know what Stadium Stampede rules are?
Probably Tribal Combat.
No one knows what that is. Still, we've had the match and no one knows what the rules were.
Yeah.
Anyway, a lot of time spent on that one, a lot of outside interference, but great match. I think the 6-on-6 match at All In is going to be awesome. Mm-hmm. We'll definitely come back and talk about that. Will we watch it live? I don't know, but we'll definitely probably talk about it. That being said, next up on the card, Kane and Tool Leona, sorry if I butchered those names, versus Darby Allin and Nick Wayne. Mm-hmm. So full transparency on this match, everybody watching. We chose this to be a good time to go get a drink and go to the bathroom.
Sure. All I know is Sting, while we were walking around the arena, Sting popped up on the Tron and was speaking something, so I don't know exactly what the results were from it.
Darby Allin was involved, and I think I even said that while we were there. And I was like, oh, look, Darby Allin's involved, so Sting's got to show up at some point, right?
But I would like to swing back to, they did a pre-tape segment between Jim Ross and Kenny Omega.
That was right before this match.
That was right before this match.
Yes.
Which, the only thing that I could probably find value in is that Jim Ross, innocent bystander, had absolutely no desire to be anywhere near what was happening in this event when Kenny Omega got blindsided.
Yeah, Jim Ross is a legend in the industry. He's been around a really long time. Mm-hmm. But I will say, definitely, he is showing the miles that he has gone in wrestling. Mm-hmm. Not in negatively. He's still doing a great job, but definitely, he's been around for a while.
Sure.
So that's it set up our match for All In. We have Kenny Omega versus Kota Ibushi. Mm-hmm. I don't know what kind of match it's going to be, but they're fighting at All In, so just that set up that match. I don't even think they've announced what kind of match it's going to be. Probably just a wrestling match, but that's okay. And then we had, after that promo, we had the match that we went to the bathroom for. It was our bathroom break popcorn match.
Yep.
Was it good? To be honest with you all, we can't tell you. I don't know. So we got back. And we were fortunate enough that we had a pretty sweet MJF and Adam Cole promo, baby, that we got to watch.
Yep.
Those that don't know it, All In, MJF and Adam Cole are fighting for the ROH tag team titles. Have to clarify that.
Sure.
And they're also going to have a match against each other at the end of the night for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. So back and forth promo. Will they survive it? I mean, they hugged it out at the end, which is always good to see. But you could kind of see the tension building a little bit.
Did you not see Adam Cole when MJF's attention was diverted away? He was ready to super kick his head off.
He was going
to. He turned around,
and then he stopped.
Yeah.
So
at this point, we all know that MJF is a scumbag, certified scumbag.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody expects to see the turn of MJF on Adam Cole, baby.
Baby. You have to, every time you say Adam Cole, you gotta say baby.
Baby. Yeah.
But what if he doesn't?
I feel that Tony... Do you remember WrestleMania 17 when Austin turned and joined forces with Vince McMahon?
Yep, and everyone...
Austin turned heel and paired with Vince McMahon.
Mm-hmm.
I see the same thing happening because Tony Khan is involved. If you saw the backstage promo where Tony Khan is yelling at MJF and Adam Cole behind closed doors.
Yeah.
Do you remember them? Do you remember Adam Cole during the promo saying, "I need this win"?
Yes.
Yeah. So we were listening to something I can't give any credit to because I don't know who it was. It may have been Bleacher Report, but they had stated that this is the exact same thing that happened between Austin and Rock when Austin said, "I need this win."
I mean, history has a way of repeating itself.
Or replicating it.
It sure does.
Yeah.
Or just using it because it's a good idea.
Yeah. So nobody's looking at Adam Cole as turning. But what if Tony Khan and Adam Cole turn turn on MJF and create this?
I don't know if I'm ready for MJF to be the face, though.
Nobody is, but nobody's expecting it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true. So
you know, when you're in front of 85,000 people breaking, so today officially they broke the WrestleMania 32 paid attendance record. So there were 85,000. They claimed there was 104,000 people at WrestleMania 32 in Dallas.
I'm sure there was.
I'm sure there was.
With vendors.
With vendors, with employees, with comps, but paid tickets. AEW All In has surpassed that number, which is a huge feat.
It's huge. It's big.
Yeah.
I mean, it shows that AEW, while they may have their struggles, is doing pretty good on tickets.
WrestleMania 40 in Philly next year, one first day sold 91,000 tickets.
That's so silly. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
it is a 2-night extravaganza.
Extravaganza.
It's stupendous.
Yeah.
But I'm very curious. That would be the only reason why I would purchase this all-in event. Is number one, the spectacle of it. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Number two is to see where this MJF Adam Cole drama takes us.
Sure. And that's kind of what this whole promo is setting up. It's just the drama between the two of them being best friends, being hopefully tag team champions.
ROH tag team
champions at the same time that they're competing for the World Heavyweight Championship. Oh, yeah. Aussie. We'll get into that later. Don't worry. Spoilers. Yeah. We'll talk about Aussies. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of the show. Let's get into the heart of why we're doing this today.
Okay.
Oh, boy. So, no spoilers here. I'm going to say this was my favorite thing of the show.
You said it was your favorite thing?
It was not my favorite thing of the show.
Until it was.
But we had a sponsored match brought to you by Texas Chainsaw Massacre Deathmatch. Which is a video game. It's a video game. And by the way, if you want to sponsor Bourbon Player One, the show, Texas Chainsaw Massacre Deathmatch, I'm all in. I'm all in on that. Like, listen, I will bring all the chainsaws in. We're here for it. I'll do whatever you want. Let's get that. But
I'll donate $10 to the Maui Food Bank
if I need to. That being said, obviously AEW and Tony Khan are big fans of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game that's now out, because they had a match themed all around it between Jeff Hardy and Jeff Jarrett.
First off, how the hell old is Jeff Jarrett?
I knew he'd be there. We're in Nashville, Tennessee, and Jeff Jarrett, Mr. Guitar himself, is going to be there. Slapnuts himself.
Yeah.
Double J. Jeff.
So, the guy was wrestling in the WWF, now called WWE, back in 1994.
Right.
You know who his manager or his sidekick was back then?
I don't remember.
The Road Dog, Jesse James, DX. Yeah,
Man.
but he was called the Roadie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Mr. Gunn is still wrestling. So.
No, he's not.
Well,
No, he's not.
Well, yeah.
But that was 1994. That was 20 years ago.
He's still going strong. Listen, he still had a great's not the word I want to use right here. He still had a match.
Yeah.
With Jeff Hardy.
How long has he been wrestling?
Oh, jeez, they both have been wrestling since I was a kid.
Yep.
I mean, that's been 20 plus years ago.
First off, Jeff Hardy, I hope you're doing all the right things.
Yes.
To get better mentally, physically.
Maybe
everything.
you shouldn't wrestle right now.
Maybe you should probably step away from this business for a little while.
Just a minute.
Yeah, especially with seeing how this match went.
Yeah.
You should probably step away from it.
So I'm going to give a quick summary of it. And then we can dive in and bite size it down. But
yeah.
the whole premise of it was Jeff Hardy and Jeff Jarrett were in a Texas Chainsaw Massacre death match to support the game. The game was everywhere all night long. This was not pre-recorded, which probably would have been better, in my opinion. But the match started out with them not coming to the ring at all for any reason. They went to the back room. There were tables and weapons all in the ring. Jeff Hardy.
There was an S&M wall.
Yeah, Jeff Hardy came out, and then me went to the back to confront Jeff Jarrett, and immediately the craziness started of it being filmed on a TV that we were trying to watch. It was really dark, so to be honest with you, I can't tell you much what happened in the back room other than I know Jeff Jarrett got blood dumped on him or got cut open. He had blood on him when he came out. That's all I know. And it finally came to the ring. Insanity ensued as they were trying to get to the ring. And once they got to the ring, even more insanity ensued with all the people and convoluted. I couldn't even tell you how many people were involved in this match because there was probably 10 of them. And then the match ended with a choke slam to Jeff Hardy, and Jeff Jarrett pinned him 1-2-3 and won a sweet new belt, the Texas
Chainsaw belt,
Chainsaw Massacre death belt, which I'll put that photo right here. Wait for it. Great. Now you've seen it. Glad you got to see that belt.
You'll never see it again.
You'll never see it again. But that being said, Scott, take me through your thoughts on the match. We don't have to spend a lot of time, but I definitely spend some time. Talk to me about this Texas Chainsaw Massacre death match in your mind.
My thoughts were this is the worst thing that I've ever seen in my entire history of watching professional wrestling and sports entertainment.
Wow, that's a lot.
Immediately, I go to the dirt sheets / the community boards of the internet community on Bleacher Report, and I start seeing what I wanted to see what the rest of the community thought about this.
Smart.
Yeah. Speaking of smarks. That leads into our
next. Let's talk about the match a little more.
Okay.
I want to dive in more. I want us to get into our thoughts for it. But spoiler. We have captured some of these great remarks from people on the internet, and as you can imagine, the internet is super all over it. So we're going to get to that in just a second. I'm going to leave my comments right here on the match so I don't have to come back to them. But all filmed on the Megatron for us to watch. You would have thought they could have had a light guy for the back room while they were going through the back because it's all dimly lit. It's all red lighting, basically.
To depict a horror movie.
No, I get it. Oh. But like 6 or 7 people at least showed up in the back room during this match. At least, by the way. That's me being generous. And I don't know who any of them really were.
One was Matt Hardy, and we had no idea it was him.
Some guy got a light clashed on him as the door opened, and I had no idea who that was for a long time.
Oh, I forgot about that. And nobody knows who that was.
Just door opens, and some random guy shows up.
I think it was Sanjay Dutt, honestly.
We'll never know.
Yeah.
That being said.
Indian cowboy.
So craziness happens for if we remove the back room part of this match, that was probably the worst.
It's still bad.
It's still bad. But when they got to the ring, all the players were still involved. You still had Matt, you still had Jeff, you still had all the other people that were out there helping.
Jay Lethal
was out there, I think, wearing a cowboy hat, because we're in Nashville, why not?
Did you notice that every time that somebody, there were 2 or 3 instances where I noticed that people's cowboy hats fell off, and before they even made their next move, they made an effort to put their cowboy hat back on before they threw the punch.
There's an edict that they must wear a cowboy hat when they're doing it. You have to have it on if you're going to do your move. Long story short, I'm pretty sure it was Jay Lethal hit Jeff Hardy with a hammer. which you would think is enough to put someone down for 1, 2, 3. But then the giant, I don't know his name, apologize, but he
Failed basketball player.
Yeah, he then hits Jeff Hardy with a choke slam because, of course, why wouldn't you just go ahead and hit a choke slam on a guy who just got hit with a hammer? And Jeff Jarrett pins him 1, 2, 3 to win the belt, the new belt that we'll never see again. The Texas Chainsaw.
Satnam Singh is his name.
Satnam Singh. Yep, great.
Yep.
The new giant, I'm just going to call him.
Can
That's
I read
great.
the notable moments of this match?
Oh, okay. So, notable moments, and then we'll get into our smarks. So, go
Hardys
for it.
will always have a special connection to the crowd. The fake blood didn't really add anything to what we saw, but Jeff's white outfit definitely made it pop.
Yes, it did.
The table didn't break right away when the Hardys hit the Swanton. That must have been painful for Jarrett.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's what we've got before we get into the entertainment section.
Let's be said. Let's get into the entertainment section. Let's go for some smart remarks.
Say the darndest thing.
No telling what, no telling when, never a dull moment. You think you know, they surprise you again, saying what they wanna. They're gone tomorrow, right here today. Let's hear what they have to say.
All right, and we are here. I am so excited for the smart remarks. Scott has all of these saved on his phone. I'm just going to let him rapid fire go through them and tell us, and feel free to laugh, feel free not to. I haven't heard almost all of these, so this is going to be new for me too. I'll react accordingly. Scott, go for it.
Okay. All right. We're going to just read these comments.
Just
and I'm
write
not going to
down.
give anybody any credit for it because I don't have any kind of time for that. These people aren't going to see it anyway. But everyone's going to shit on that match, and understandably so. But it was the best overbooked match I've seen in a long time.
It was overbooked. It's true.
Damn, Tony Khan. Nah, man. What the F was that? It was getting hard to defeat your actions with shit. It's getting hard to defeat your actions with shit like that. Someone tell Tony Khan to stop putting 50-year-olds in matches against each other.
It's so true.
Wow, this one's out of this one. Put this one in the back of your mind because it's going to come back here shortly. Bunny has a thumper on her.
Okay.
By the way, stick to the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie if you're a fan of the franchise. 3D was bad. Fatal Four.
Okay. It's not even talking about a movie. It's a video game.
I have to say I was pretty ashamed watching that Texas Chainsaw Massacre match in front of my wife. That was real bad.
Yeah, it was really bad. I did theirs too.
You know, you can burn calories by gulping lots of beer down instead of seeing Jeff Jarrett get booed in his hometown.
Wow. Did he get booed? I don't remember
He
that.
sure did.
Oh, dang. I must have been drinking at that time.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Yep. Oh boy. Before everyone hates on this match, just remember WWE does the same BS. Like the time the Miz got eaten by zombies. That was
Dude,
dirt.
I remember the zombie match. That was so bad. Oh, and it's true though. They do. Like we got crap on them too for this stuff.
Hope the money they got was worth it. That was Shockmaster bad.
Oh wow,
Oh boy,
wow.
old WCW.
You know, they really
days.
should tie this into Mountain Dew Code Red, and they could have really had something going on.
Give me a minute.
Oh.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Pitch Black meets Zombie Match. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not buying that horseshit game now. Not that I was anyway.
Okay.
The game.
Oh. I mean, I
Yeah.
might buy the game now. Like that was pretty. I mean,
AEW fans can now never bring up the Army of the Dead match from WWE.
no. Listen, we're gonna get a lot of those comparisons.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to hear Corny tear this apart. And this might go down as the worst match I had to sit through. Then they give Jarrett a Leatherface belt. What is this?
Leatherface felt was a bit much. Like I'm not sure why. And Leatherface came out at the end of the match and chased away.
4.5 star classic according to Dave Meltzer.
Oh, the Melts. The
Yeah.
Meltzer's dropping some heat on us here.
Let's see.
The Melts probably wrote that comment for himself.
Yep. Let's see. That match was doo-doo water. What the fuck did I just watch? That was way worse than the Pitch Black match.
Was it though?
The Pitch
Was-
Black match at the Royal was that the Royal Rumble
Yeah.
between LA Knight?
But I don't. I mean, Pitch Black.
Let me talk to you.
I mean, it was bad, but oh man. That's
Let's
tough.
see.
We don't need that many bad matches.
Wow, even Jeff Jarrett gets booed in his own hometown. How disappointing.
Yeah, a lot of comments about Jeff Jarrett getting booed.
Hammered at the back of the head. Better hit a choke slam to be safe.
It's true. Why do we need to choke slam this guy with a hammer? Get him out of here.
Leatherface, who's coming out next? RoboCop, Surfer Sting, WCW crap.
Oh my gosh! Remember when RoboCop came out at a WCW event?
Yeah, it was a Halloween Havoc, I think, is what it
Yes.
was.
Oh my gosh! It's all repeating itself now. It's the
Yep.
same people. WCW, AEW. I mean, here we go.
Yep. This might have been the best one. Come on with this shit.
It's true. Come on with this shit. You got any more?
Let's see. Good God in heaven. Oh my God. Good God in heaven. This is making me mad, to be honest. Vince Russo booked this.
Yeah, Vince Russo. Yeah.
This match is also presented to you by Mountain Dew Code Red. What in the 1989 is going on here?
No, actually though, like
Yeah.
that's what it felt like. Was
Yeah.
like we went back in time.
Sure did. I think that's about all that I've got. Yeah. And then we get this picture, and we're gonna flash it up on the screen here. This is the guy sitting directly in front of us, which I kept calling Samuel L. Jackson, and you'll know why. But he held up a sign that said, "Y'all ain't shit."
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all ain't shit.
So. Yeah.
That being said, I do want to add two here, just because I remembered it and I saw a comment on it while you were going through those. A fan almost got hit by a piece of the ceiling during the show, right here during this match.
Yeah, it was during this match.
Yeah, like
and I
that's-
think it was like one of the felt covers that was over top of one of the speakers.
Yeah, just
that
fell
it
from
just
the
got rattled somehow, and it fell down. Thankfully, it fell into some empty seats.
Yeah, could have hit him. I mean, would have
Or
hurt.
God knows there were plenty of those there.
There were a lot of empty seats. If anyone tells you this was a sold out arena, they are lying to you. There was a lot, especially on the side we were on.
Yeah.
With like the suites, there was a lot of empty seats right there.
Sure were.
Yeah, they non-camera side. So
Might have
you know,
been 3,000 people there in an 18,000 seat arena.
maybe.
Something
Yeah,
like that. But
pretty
it still looked good on TV.
That being said, let's keep moving on. We got more matches to talk about. Two more to go.
Before we move on,
What?
I need a drink.
Oh, me too. Let's get one. Let's pop it.
What are we going to drink?
Let's drink our Weller. Our Weller Foolproof that we just got. Let's
Yep.
pop it open.
Fresh crack.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's make sure. Let's see.
Woo. We're halfway through the show. It's time for a quick crack.
Can you put it back up?
Yep. All right, so Weller Foolproof it is. Give it a little S job, a little swirl job. Not my comment, but definitely know if you're watching this ADHD, we'd love to have you on sometime.
Typically 6 to 8 years old, I think.
Please come on. That'd be a lot of fun. Or let me come on. We'll talk about it.
Come on, what?
His show. be all playing it. I give lots of S jobs, little swirls, swirling tints.
I think I might be sitting a little too close to you.
There's plenty of space behind this. What are you talking about? It's not an illusion.
Tell you what, the nose on this is fairly good.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's your typical, like, high-proof Buffalo Trace weeder.
I haven't drank a ton of Weller full proofs in my day.
Oh, I have.
So, I mean, I know you have. So, that's like, this is kind of a newer. I mean, I'm not as familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Randomly, I'm getting a little grape right there on the nose, which is kind of weird, but.
Sweet vanilla. Peppery vanilla. Just pretty typical for me.
Ooh. Yeah, that's good. It's real good.
Mm-hmm.
Smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Mine did not last very long. What do you think?
Needs to open up.
It definitely needs to open.
Oh.
That's okay, though.
A little astringent.
Yep, moving right along. We have a couple more matches for Dynamite. Going to be really quick for these guys because not a lot really happened, just to be honest about it.
Yep.
We had the Bunny versus Britt Baker for the final spot in the AEW World Title 4-way match at All In.
Really, I mean, full disclosure, this whole episode I felt like was just meant to build and finalize matches for All In.
Yes, that's all it was.
That's all it
was.
was.
Just finalizing matches for
Yep.
All In.
Yep.
This match was pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot really going on. I mean, they shook hands at the start. It kind of ended pretty quickly.
Yeah, for the most part, so Britt Baker comes out victorious.
Yeah.
Of course, Penelope Ford tries to interfere to help the Bunny during picture-in-picture. So really not a whole of the audience got a chance to see this, or they didn't really take advantage of the time that they had to highlight this. In the end, Britt Baker comes out ahead, gets inserted into the final spot between, so it's Toni Storm,
Okay.
Ruby Soho,
Okay.
Britt Baker, and then who's the world champion? I don't remember what her name was.
She showed up to help defend the bunny during this match at the end of it.
Put it-
Sheeta came out and helped defend the bunny when Britt Baker was attacking her. So that's your champion.
Did she?
I think pretty sure, yeah. They had a big moment there, didn't they?
I don't remember that.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
But anyway, even if not, sorry guys, this was pretty throwaway match.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got into our main event for the evening for Dynamite, the Young Bucks versus the Guns. Two huge tag teams that've been around for a very long time. To be honest, I don't remember a ton about the match. At this point, I was kind of feeling a little bit of fatigue from Dynamite. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre death match took a lot out of me.
Mm-hmm.
A lot out of me. It was a great match. Just don't remember a lot of bright spots from it. Your victors were the Young Bucks that came out at the end of it. Anything you remember from it specifically?
So there was some outside interference.
Okay,
as
sure.
there has been, I believe, in every single match.
Most of the matches, yeah.
This, we had at the end we had Juice Robinson and who's his tag team partner?
For Juice?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not 100% like in the know with most of everything. It was Jay White. Yeah,
Juice Robinson and Jay White.
And Jay White immediately came out and attacked the winners. And then we ended up seeing FTR come out for the save, which oddly, seeing a show of respect between the Young Bucks and FTR to close out the show and lead into, the next 2 weeks leading up to All In.
Yeah.
I thought was very...
Yeah. Overall, Graham, the show wasn't bad. You could definitely tell that they were doing a lot of building for All In. Like, that's what this show focused on, was setting the stage, filling out the card for All In, and getting some matches finalized. I mean, would you agree?
Yep.
Cool. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to have some more drinks, and we're going to get right into Rampage.
Y'all been waiting on adrenaline pumping in your chest. This is Rampage, yeah. This is Rampage, yeah. This is Rampage. This is Rampage.
All right, so Rampage. There were 4 matches. I'm going to go through the whole card. Guys, we're going to talk about one match because it took up, it was an hour show. And this match took, 30 to 35 minutes of the show, basically. It was the entirety of the show. So, full card. We had Rey Fenix versus Commander. The ROH Tag Team Champions, the Aussies, Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis versus Brother Zay and Ethan Page in a non-title match. Obviously, your Tag Team Champions won. We had Sammy Guevara versus John Cruz, who was a local talent, I assume. Sammy Guevara obviously won. Then we had Tony Storm and Ruby Soho versus Hikaru Shida and Sky Blue, another local talent from Indiana, right?
No, that was somebody that we saw on the next show.
That's right. Get my shows confused.
Full disclosure, they taped until like 11:30 Central Standard Time, which is...
It was really late. Anyway, Tony Storm and Ruby Soho won this match through nefarious reasons. But the match we want to talk about really quick because we are running low on time this evening. Rey Fenix, Phoenix as I call him from his Lucha Underground days. Fenix.
Fenix is one thing.
The brother of they can't say Phoenix because Phoenix is Lucha Underground.
Yeah.
So I get confused because Phoenix and Pentagon are real life brothers who wrestled in Lucha Underground. They are both the Lucha Bros in AEW now, with very similar names to Lucha Underground names, but just enough different where they don't get sued.
That's because they don't own the rights to it.
That's true, yet. But Rey Fenix versus Commander, who I'm not as familiar with Commander. I looked him up a little bit. He has wrestled in the independent scene a lot. He's been around for a while, but he's definitely not very well known. But man, what a barn burster this was. I mean, this was a crazy match.
Even if you're not a wrestling fan or a sports entertainment fan, if you get a chance, you can probably find it on YouTube, and you can watch this entire match in its entirety. It will keep you entertained. I watched this match today, and the spots that these luchadors were performing really, really amped up the crowd.
Yeah.
Off of a pretty subpar Dynamite that we had just seen.
Yeah. I mean, and I think that's the point, is when they're going to do filming like this for another show that's a different day, they really need something that the crowd energized again, so that way it looks like the crowd is fresh for a new show. I would say A+. I mean, they delivered on that front, getting the crowd jacked up. Because I mean, after this match was over, like I was fatigued from the previous, couple hours, but I was like, okay, like what else you got for me? Let's go. Unfortunately, they kind of dropped the ball after this match. On the rest of the matches, they were pretty subpar.
Sure.
And I deflated pretty quickly. But man, no. Ray Phoenix and Commander. I mean, a lucha match.
Spot,
just a spot
after spot after spot after spot. There was actually one moment that really caught me, and I knew that we were close to the end of it. There was like a, you ever see? So it was kind of a combination between. You ever see Rey Mysterio? Kind of when he goes for his 619, he swings through the ropes.
Mm-hmm.
You ever see Dean Ambrose John Moxley, when he gets hit, he falls back into the ropes and he like falls back into the second rope, springboards out, and then comes back in with a lariat.
Oh yeah.
So if you combine those two moves, Ray Phoenix actually did this, where he fell into the ropes, did a little like 619 thing, and came back out with a super kick to Commander, which really set up the end of the match.
I mean, the match was awesome. Like there's too many moments to talk about. You should really just go watch it. If you're a fan of wrestling, you 100% should watch it. And if you're not a fan of wrestling, but you just like entertainment, I mean, it's a great match to watch for entertainment.
Highlight that you won't see if you watch it on YouTube or any platform that we got to see live was after they turned the cameras off out of a show of respect. Ray Phoenix took his mask off and immediately covered it up with his manager's blazer and presented his mask to Commander out of a sign of respect.
No way, that wasn't on the show?
That was not on the
Oh my
broadcast.
gosh, that was a great moment. I thought they would have kept on the show.
Yeah.
But no, that's a big lucha like sign of respect when your opponent gives you their mask. For I guess commemorative to remember it by.
Sure.
But for sure, great stuff. I really wish they would have kept that. That's really unfortunate.
Yeah.
Great match though. Definitely probably one of the better lucha matches I've seen in a long time.
It's one of the better matches that I've seen in a long time because it captured my interest.
It did. I was I was done and we were drinking and like also kind of tired. And we both like sat up and were like, oh, this is happening right now. This is cool. Like they're going after it. So great stuff. That being said, we're not going to talk about. They also filmed some Ring of Honor after the show. We stayed for most of it
because we had to,
which we won't get into. But we're not going to talk about those matches. They were whatever. We were super ready to not be there anymore because it was late. Like you said, it was 11:30 Central Time, and we had been there since 5:30 or 6 Central Time. So it was going on like a WrestleMania night. So much wrestling we watched.
It was night crazy. 2, night 3, night 4 of a weekend extravaganza.
It was nuts.
Yeah.
But final thoughts for the evening. Final thoughts for AEW leading to All In, Scott.
I think they mission accomplished as far as finalizing their card. I think that when you bring your brand to a city such as Nashville, big city, big entertainment city, you need to bring a packed show.
Yeah, absolutely.
You need to bring star power, and I feel like they missed the boat with this.
How do you feel like they could have filled that arena? I mean, I'm not trying to like second guess. I'm just like, how could AEW have gotten that many people into those seats?
I don't even think like a major pay-per-view would fill the seats.
I know.
I just think that I don't think they've got the star power that a WWE has.
Yeah.
I mean, even I went to a Monday Night Raw back in January in the same arena, and it also was not sold out.
Yeah.
I just think it's a
tough stadium.
It's a product fatigue. I think that there's just there's just not a lot of notoriety or brand awareness around AEW in a large market like this.
Sure.
Chicago, Jacksonville, because that's their home base. But you bring it into a Nashville. Nashville's mainly a destination city for entertainment.
Sure.
And when I say entertainment, I'm thinking like the bar scene, the
music,
the music scene. If you're a country music superstar or any kind of music superstar, you're going to come to Nashville.
Could they have hired a performance from a music star in the middle of it and got more people in there? Just a little mini concert right in the middle of the shows.
I mean for a 2-hour show.
I don't know.
I mean, take away the Texas Chainsaw Massacre match and throw in a musical performance.
That'd been awesome. I'd have loved it. That'd been
maybe.
great.
I mean, maybe, but I don't know.
No, so no, I agree with what we said. I mean, the crowd was nice, but it was definitely not big enough for a wrestling event. Like, it was tough, like, for the crowd to get behind a lot of stuff. The crowd felt really deflated for a lot of the show from the matches, which was tough to, recover from. But there was some great stuff. I mean, they accomplished their mission of filling out the card for All In to try to make sure that they have all that done before we get there. So kudos to them for getting that done. They really prioritized it. And I think they accomplished a lot of it for just a typical Wednesday night Dynamite. It wasn't like a pay-per-view. So, good for them on that. It was a lot of fun. I'm really glad we got to go. Always appreciate the opportunity to go watch some good wrestling, meet some people, and talk wrestling with people that are like-minded.
Sure.
Any other final thoughts, Scott?
We'll go again.
We'll go again. 10 out of 10 will not go again. That's okay. Guys, thank you for tuning in. If you don't already, make sure to click that subscribe button right there. It really helps support the show. Don't forget, if you've made it this far, just take a couple seconds longer. Leave a comment below. Favorite wrestler. I want to hear about it. From your past when you were a kid. Right now. Whoever it might be, leave it below. I want to know. Scott wants to know. I'll make sure he sees it. Other than that, Scott, thank you again so much for joining us this week. I'm sure we'll be back again. That is all with the time we have this week. We will see you next week on Bourbon Player One.